Alright you guys, so this might be a little rare video right here for you guys. I'm going to execute a trade live. So it is currently 12:53 and the market closes in about 7 minutes. I already sent out a watch list. We only had one potential candidate today, and that is the one that you're looking at right now. I sent this out at around 12:30. Again, it is 12:53 right now, so a couple of minutes left until the market closes. You're looking at the daily time frame, so every candle represents 1 day worth of time. And in about 7 minutes, this candle is going to close. So the entry in terms of my strategy pretty much requires me to enter in the last couple of minutes of the day. If we read the description here on the watch list, it does say every entry must be done within the last 5 minutes. I like to try to get as close as I can to the last minute, like around 12:50, 58, 59. But of course, there has been some days where the market closes on me, which is perfectly fine. I'll just take the trade in the after hours if possible. But ideally, you would enter within the last 5 minutes of the day, simply because the candle could look a little bit different, like a reversal candle at 12:30, but then at near the end of the day, it could turn into a completely, the complete opposite of a reversal candle. Like for example, earlier this was looking like a doji candle, and right now it's kind of more looking like a hammer candle, which is kind of what I'm aiming for. But the whole point of this strategy here is essentially trading stocks that are in an uptrend like this one. This is a pretty good, nice little uptrend right here, and then looking for a slight pullback. To be quite frank with you guys, this is a pretty aggressive pullback right here, similar to this one right here. We did pull back to the 50 simple moving average, so I do trade pullbacks into the 20 moving average, but the 50 could also be an opportunity for me. This is probably going to be the first time that I actually trade the 50 simple moving average, but typically you would see reversals or pullbacks going into the 20 moving average, and then you get a reversal bar similar to this one right here. This one actually looks pretty good right here. Nice little doji reversal candle here that formed, and then right away the next day you got a massive aggressive candle here. So I have a couple of other examples here to show you guys. This one isn't that good actually. Neither is this one, Cake. So Cake would have been a perfect setup here yesterday. Just look at the moving averages here. All of them are fanging upward here and nicely separated. Then yesterday you got the reversal candle here right after a pullback into the 20 simple moving average. So this is prime. This is a prime setup here. I think today is like a, I don't know actually. I don't have my cursor here, but it looks like well, actually it's a 6% move today. So we probably would have added already at some point right around right here if we actually did take this trade yesterday, but unfortunately it wasn't in my radar. Today I did see it, but it's probably too late already to enter. It would be chasing at this point. And then Eat is another good setup here that actually yesterday was a narrow range bar, so not a doji or a hammer candle, but a narrow range bar, so NRB. And again, it pulled back to the moving average, and then we got the massive 5% gainer today. So SN, another similar setup here yesterday. Doji candle. I actually don't even know why I didn't take this trade, but even if I did, we would have only been up like 0.70%. So this is a good setup, but it's still not the best setup, at least not compared to the this one here. And the one that we're looking at right now, again, we pulled back to the 50, so this is a little bit new, a little bit of a higher risk, I think, in my opinion, simply because the pullback is pretty aggressive. Similar to this one right here, but the last time we touched the 50 moving average, we actually did get a nice strong move to the upside, so I'm hoping for something similar like that. And it is currently 12:54, so I'm going to pause the video here and get the exact data points and see if we could potentially enter this trade right now.
A few moments later.
Alright, so I think I'm going to zoom into the 5 minute here just to show you guys the lower time frame here. Not that it really matters, we really like to pay attention only to the daily time frame. But I think there's some action in the 5 minute just to show you guys an example here. So as of right now, I'm currently using Grok, which is a chatbot. You could also use ChatGPT. Alright, I'm going to throw a market order right here, and there it is, 5 shares. So yeah, this is the 5 minute time frame. Let's go back to the daily time frame here, and it looks pretty good. So it looks like a slight hammer candle here, and definitely not a doji candle. So I'm hoping that it does close a little bit higher, that way it can give us more confirmation. But alrighty, so it's been about 5 minutes since the market closed now, and we have everything updated at this point. We have 5 shares. We managed to buy 5 shares of this stock. The whole point of this was a pullback into the moving averages, and then we just got a reversal candle that formed. So that was the whole main idea of this setup here. If you're interested in the whole strategy breakdown, then I would suggest you join the Discord. But if you're too lazy to do that, feel free to just pause the video and go ahead and take it. The whole point of this YouTube channel is to get some information out there, good information, hopefully teach you guys good habits. And yeah, that's the whole point. So if you need a strategy, if you're a new trader here, and if you need a strategy, here it is. Feel free to take this one. I do have some images here, but for some reason they're not loading. And also this system here, or this description here, is useful in the case that you want to use a chatbot. Like for example, in my case, I'm actually using Grok, and what I do every day is send out a simple description of my account. So for example, I have my account balance, which is 4,978. The open of the candle, of the daily candle that we're just looking at right now, which is this reversal bar that we just took a trade based off of, this candle here. So the open of this candle, the close of this candle, and then the ATR. So the ATR can be easily found if we go to Finviz here, which is the website, the exact website that I use to scan for these stocks, not only to scan for them, but also to get the ATR. So let's CRWD. Let's take a look at CRWD over here. So we search for the stock here, which actually, and now that I'm looking at it through this Finviz app or through the website here, you'll see that we actually are buying at some really nice support level right here. So hopefully this gives us some support, and we do actually manage to get a nice push up above. But if we look down here, you'll see that we have a whole bunch of numbers here. Most of them are pretty much irrelevant, but the main focus is right here. So if we zoom in right here, you'll see that the ATR for this stock is 9.34. So this is the key number here. All of our calculations are based off of this sole number right here. So our stop loss, our targets, our adding points, all this good stuff that you see here is calculated using this right here. So again, we have the ATR, the account balance, the open and the close of the reversal bar, and that's pretty much it. All we do is we send that out to the Grok here, or the ChatGPT, and it'll give us the initial, let's go back to this screenshot here. It'll give us the stop loss level, the risk per share, and most importantly, the share size. So the amount of shares that we need to be buying, the initial target, which in this case is 2 times the ATR, and the stop loss is actually 1 times the ATR. The first trigger to add, so at what point are we going to add to this trade? And that is 0.75 from the ATR, and we'll only be buying 2 shares at this point. Of course, after we add, we have to move up our stop loss pretty much to break even. So new stop loss is 191.98, and if you look up here, you'll see that the entry is 191.88. So we move up our stop loss to break even at this point. And then the second adding scenario is right here as well, 206, 1 share only. We move up our stop loss yet again to the initial adding scenario. And yeah, might sound a little bit complicated, but once you get the hang of it, once you build a habit of executing the exact same system every single day, you'll have no difficulty with it. The only problem would be, or the only difficult part would actually be identifying these setups and only taking these setups. So that's probably the hardest part. Besides that, go ahead and find an AI chatbot. You can use ChatGPT like I mentioned here. Explain to it the strategy that we're working with. Maybe even take a screenshot of this, send that out to the chatbot, and explain to it how you just simply want to be sending out this information, and you expect this other information in return, which will give you the trade management. So yeah, so everything that you see on the screen right here, all the lines, the red line being the stop loss, the white lines being the adding points, and then the blue line, of course, being the target here. So something that isn't mentioned here is once we do hit our first target here, we'll be trailing our stop loss at that point, essentially moving up our stop loss 1/16 under every candle after we hit our first profit target here. So at that point, every new candle that forms after we hit our target, we'll be moving up our stop loss 1/16 under that candle, and that's the profit trailing method that is used after we hit our target. Again, if you're new to trading, I strongly suggest you trade something like this. It's a really basic system here that I'm running. I've only been running it for like about a month now, 3 weeks since July 9th, and we've only taken probably like 6 or 7 trades. I'm not entirely sure. As a matter of fact, here's a quick little update of the last trade that I took, which was DYN. I'm pretty sure I made a video about that one. If not, then it's completely fine. But DYN actually turned out to be a small loss, just $19, which is probably like 0.5 of a percentage. But besides that, we have the other trade here, which is a roughly $30 trade, and this is all the result of 1 month worth of scanning here for stocks. So there hasn't been much out there, unfortunately, but the whole point is actually being able to identify these setups, and then the days that there isn't these setups, just simply skipping that trading day entirely. So that's the difficult part right there. You don't want to be rushing any trades. You don't want to be jumping into trades that have no setup whatsoever. So yeah, that's really the whole moral of this video here. Just besides me explaining the strategy, besides me explaining this new trade that we just entered today, I want to make it a point here that the whole idea, the whole philosophy of trading is really just boils down to disciplining yourself to only trading that exact setup, and when you don't find that setup, just walking away from the computer. And even when you manage to execute that setup for like 50, 100, 200 trades, learning from those trades and even modifying your setup just to exploit the trades even more. Like for example, I mentioned earlier that this specific setup where the price pulls back to the 50 moving average is actually something new. So out of the 6 or 8 trades that I've taken so far with this strategy, I've never taken a single trade where the price pulls back all the way to the 50 moving average. It's always usually the 20 simple moving average that it pulls back to, and then we get a reversal bar right here. But the 50, it's a completely new thing for the system and for myself. So I'm going to keep that in mind, and maybe in the future, if I see that not working out over like 10 trades, then I'm just simply going to eliminate it. So that's the whole point. Learn from your trades, even the winning trades, but especially the losing trades. Learn from those trades, but also don't be too quick to judge. I mean, if you're only talking about 3 or 4 trades that went bad, that's probably not enough data to support your reasoning to classify it as a bad setup or as a bad decision. But yeah, just keep track of your trades. So examples like that would be really good to keep in mind when you're executing trades here and learning from your mistakes, really. But besides that, it is Friday. I'm gonna probably just relax for the rest of the day here, enjoy my weekend, and yeah, just take it easy out there. So again, if you're interested in the watch list, if you're interested in the strategy, go ahead and join the Discord. I do try to send one out every single day, but it's not every day that you have actual setups here. For example, this week over here in August, obviously it was a week that pretty much had nothing, no good setups whatsoever. So you often come across weeks like that where you have nothing to trade here, but the days that there is setups here, I'll make sure to upload the best of the best setups. Like this one, for example, here was a pretty good setup. This other one was a good setup too. I send out everything that you need to know when it comes to the actual trades that I actually do take. For example, today I sent out the whole plan here, but you could do this all on yourself. Like I mentioned earlier, just upload the strategy information and make sure that your chat bot knows exactly what it needs to do, and you'll make trading easy for you guys. So go ahead and join the Discord. If not, leave a like on this video at least. If you have any questions, any concerns, any comments, maybe even any advice, go ahead and drop it down below. I'll be sure to read them and probably even reply to you guys. So I'll leave it at that. This is the current trade that I'm currently in, the only trade that I'm currently in. Hopefully it does well in the next coming days, next week. If not, I'm fully prepared to take a loss in the case that it does pull back a little over here. But if it does work out, I'm making sure that I'm maximizing my profits here and really exploiting the trades that actually do come in my favor. So I'm going to end it at that, you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend and stay focused, you guys.